Hey folks, welcome back to another Selenium WebDriver interview question series. So today we are going to talk about the Selenium WebDriver architecture. Before we begin, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. Let's begin. Selenium is an open source library that can be utilized in multiple programming languages, with each language having its own corresponding bindings, which means that Selenium WebDriver is a library and it is an open source automation testing tool. This is what we know. Also, we know that it supports multiple programming languages: Java, JavaScript, Python, C Sharp. So, multiple programming languages as well it supports. So, here what we're talking about is Selenium is having a specific language corresponding libraries. For Java, it will have Java binding. For Python, Python binding. So in the same way, it supports multiple languages and which in turn will have the corresponding bindings. So why we are talking about it is in the architecture, we will understand it what we are talking exactly. For example, when Java language binding is used, so it uses the code like Chrome driver is equal to new Chrome driver. So what we are talking about is, suppose I have written my code in Java. Now I want to talk to the Chrome driver using my Java code. How the communication happens, this is what we will see in this architecture. So this Java code, it internally calls the Selenium Java implementation, which in turn calls the W3C protocol based requests. So, or it can be JSON via protocol also. So, in Selenium 3, JSON via protocol is the protocol which was used. But later in Selenium 4, it has been replaced with the W3C protocol. What changes from Selenium 3 to Selenium 4 is the way of communication. JSON via protocol used to encode and then decode. When sending the request, it used to encode, okay, and sending the request. And after it used to get the response, it used to decode and then send it back to the print libraries. So this is how it used to happen. But the way of communication is changed with respect to the Selenium 4 W3C protocol. So technically speaking, the REST API calls is what it is changed. With this, how it communicates with the home driver or the respective drivers, that is changed. So let's see it with the help of an example or the architecture. The language binding, this is what first initially we spoke about. Language binding or nothing but client library, where you have written your actual code. Can be of Java, C Sharp, Python, JavaScript, whatever the language that Selenium WebDriver supports. So that is what you have written it. Okay, now I want to talk to the real browsers. How it is possible? Earlier, instead of this W3C protocol, in Selenium 3, JSON file protocol was used. But in Selenium 4 architecture, we are using this W3C protocol, correct? So after you have written the code in any of the language, that will actually, with the help of W3C protocol, will communicate with the respective browser drivers. Suppose you want to talk to a Chrome driver or Chrome, then Chrome driver is the one which helps to communicate. Okay. So if you want to talk to Mozilla Firefox, Gecko driver is what is a driver which helps to communicate with the Mozilla Firefox. Edge driver is used to communicate with the Edge browser. Safari driver to communicate with the Safari browser. So after you have written the code with the help of W3C protocol, Selenium is something is having these browser drivers. Okay, first it will communicate with the browser drivers, and the browser driver in turn will communicate with the real browsers. Okay, these Chrome driver, Gecko driver, these are the drivers basically that helps us to communicate with the real browsers. So overall, what you have to know is first the client library where you have written your code, okay, that is executed with the help of W3C protocol, which in turn communicates with the browser drivers. Browser drivers in turn communicates with the real browsers. Okay, so here W3C protocol is one thing you have to remember, that after Selenium 3, which was using JSON via protocol, W3C protocol is been used. Okay, so to communicate with the browser drivers. So this is overall architecture of the Selenium for WebDriver. Okay. So hopefully you got to know how actual communication happens from a code you have written, and after your execution, what will happen. Okay. So if you have liked this video, please do like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.